We are the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network. And this is our news recap show. I am your host, Ricky Phillips. Now, before I get into the news here today, and I am going to be talking about what happened in Cyprus with the banks and the bailouts and all the stuff going on over there. It was kind of crazy. But I'm going to tie it together and how this fits into the New World Order agenda and how it is a significant threat to your individual liberty. But before I get into all of that, I just want to say, I'm getting some more subscribers. Sometimes they come, sometimes they go. I don't know if maybe they're trolls just trying to mess with the analytics or whatever. I'm getting more people who are following in. I assume they're tuning into videos because whenever I post new ones, I do get about the amount of views pretty quickly of the subscribers I have. So to the subscribers, I just want to say, I apologize. I haven't been uploading videos. Again, when I first started, I went pretty hardcore for a little while. But now there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Since I made the Operation Paul Revere film, I've learned how to use a lot of audio and video editing stuff, and I've learned how to capture audio and video off the web so I can incorporate more stuff into special reports. I'm working on putting together some special reports that are going to incorporate some audio clips and some video clips that I'll have to edit in and film accordingly. But these are the old special reports that they're going to be pretty old, and I'm going to go over a bunch of information in these special reports. But this special report right here is focused on what happened in Cyprus. Now, I know this is old news, but it was a big deal when it was going on, and it's still a really big deal because it signified a significant tactic in the New World Order takeover of the world. Their subversion of our independent nations and our independent individuality. Now, this deals significantly with one aspect of liberty, and that is the right to own personal property. Your right to own things that belong to you, things you make or things you purchase. You have a right to these things. They're your personal property. So that is the liberty under threat with what happened in Cyprus. Now, I work with a lot of people, and like I mentioned multiple times, I talk to them a lot about what's going on, about liberty, about the New World Order. I got a really close friend who's actually trying to become a citizen now, and I quiz him every day. I'll go and I'll be like, which branch of the government is allowed to declare war? And I'll ask him to answer questions like that just to make sure that he knows what it means to be an American. If he wants to become an American, you have to understand that you're at the tip of the spear of liberty around the whole world. It's up to us because we're the only country that was really founded with this idea of liberty to stand up for worldwide liberty and to hopefully get freedom to grow, and that starts with people having to understand what their freedoms are. But this goes directly into a threat against your personal property, and that is your bank account, your money. What happened in Cyprus? Well, here's the deal with Cyprus. Cyprus is a small island in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. It's over in Europe. It's part of the European Union. It's a member of the Euro Union. Again, Euro's the currency they use. Now, there was a big Cyprus bank takedown, and this was because the government in Cyprus obviously didn't have enough money, just like governments worldwide right now, because they're all in debt to a bunch of central banks. In Cyprus's case, it's in debt to the European Union Central Bank. Excuse me. So start like this. The government in Cyprus needed more money to maintain all their functions, all their welfare state, all their public utilities, everything. They just needed money to pay people to maintain their government functions. So they needed a bailout. But the European Union said, we can't just give you a bailout with money. We're not going to do that. And there's a number of reasons why that is. I'm not going to go into it. Basically, they can't print fiat currency like we can. In the United States, we print fiat currency, and it makes the prices go up because your money devalues, but it's a way for them to pay for stuff, to maintain whatever. It's ultimately bad, and it'd be better if they would just stop, but they're not going to do that unless we force them to, and that means more people make YouTube videos, more people get out there and start being active. Talk to your coworkers, talk to your friends, talk to your family. But a lot of people were really interested in this because they were concerned that their bank accounts might be threatened. But here's how it went down. They said, we want to bail out. European Union said, all right, if you want to bail out, we're going to need something from you. And that's going to be, at first they said 7 to 14%, in that range. They said, we're going to need to go into every individual's bank account and take out 7 to 14%. And this whole scandal, this whole crisis emerged. It went on for a couple of days. And each day it got incessantly more. They said, okay, we can't take 7 to 14%. We're going to actually have to take 20%. 20% out of everybody's bank account. If you have a bank account, they were going to take 20% of it. Then they said, no. We're going to actually take 40 to 60%. And that's actually what was taken. 40 to 60% of people's bank accounts. Personal money was taken. Now, at the same time as this was going on, because some people might say, well, if they were announcing that they were going to take money out of people's bank account, I would go to the bank and I would take money out of my bank account so it would be less. So they wouldn't be able to take as much. Well, they thought of that in advance. Trust me, the New World Order, they're the banksters. They run the banks. They thought of that in advance. So they declared a Cyprus Bank holiday. Or that's basically what it was called. The bank shut down. You could not get your money out, and they limited people to 50 euros a day during this crisis as they were raiding the bank accounts. And it became a big crisis because, as I initially said, they took the money out right away. They already took 40 to 60% the very day this crisis started. They had begun the extraction of funds. And this crisis went on, and they basically just had to propel a facade while they were extracting the money, and then it became a big thing. People got upset. People were like, no, and there were bank runs all over Europe. People were taking their money out. And it caused like this panic. So in order to calm the panic, they said, no, we're only going to do it from this amount of people or this group or whatever. But then it turned out they just took 40 to 60%, and it's because they already did it, but it was too late. Like they already took the money, so they're not going to put it back. Now, a lot of people always say, this is the classic thing, it could never happen here. Well, I would argue that a lot of people at my job were severely concerned that it could happen here. So maybe that's not the case anymore, but the trendies and all these people who want to act like they're socially cool and they do what the TV tells them to do, and they don't care about politics and they don't care about the world, and they just play video games and watch TV all day and enjoy your movies and forget about all that stuff. Go to work and come home and play video games or watch movies or watch TV or watch your sports. It will never happen here. They couldn't just take our money like that. We have a Bill of Rights. Well, they're slowly eroding that Bill of Rights and our constitutional freedoms. But I'm sure that people in Cyprus back in 2001, when Argentina had their economic bank holiday collapse, where people's wealth was taken by the government, I'm sure when that was going on in 2001, people in Cyprus were saying, it will never happen here. But then it did happen there. And it's planning to happen worldwide. It's just going to move down the line now. They're taking down the West because the rest of the world's already in a New World Order system in one way or another. Again, their system is total subservience to government, total enslavement to the elites. Well, that's what goes on in China. That's what goes on really in Russia. So most of the world already has these systems in place, and it's really what most of the countries in the Middle East are ruled by elite, dominant warlords or families that control, corporations and mainly oil fields. They are the dominant rulers in those areas, and they rule people with an iron fist, like you are the slaves. Get used to it. So they already got the system. So now they got to destroy the West, which is built up sort of around this liberty ideal, which emerged from 1776 with the American Revolution, which sparked a European awakening to liberty, at least. So it's, if you look at where Cyprus is on a map, they're just starting with Cyprus and they're going to move their way across Europe and then into the United States. And it's going to start, Greece will be next, and then it'll move up into the Balkan areas, and then it'll go over to Italy, and then it'll hit Sicily, and then it'll all eventually move over to Spain, and then from Spain the economic collapse will turn upward and maybe hit, Germany and France they'll just go along the coast of the Mediterranean and then swerve up. And hit Germany and France, and then Britain, and then once Britain goes, get ready for the U.S., but that's only speculation. That's not necessarily their plan or the way they're going to carry it out, but that looks like the way they're planning to do it. Now, what did the Cyprus Bank holiday really signify? What did it signify? And at the same time, before I mention anything else, while the population, the citizens of Cyprus, while they all lost 40 to 60% of their money, I got to let people know that Cyprus has always been a big mafia, government, black ops. It's where they launder money on the island of Cyprus. They use the banks on Cyprus to launder illegal money into the circulation. So globalists, the Russians, the mafias, and the mega rich, they all had forewarning that this was going to happen, so they all already had their money taken out of Cyprus. And the Russians got really concerned because maybe the Russians got a late warning and they weren't able to get all their monies, so they threatened to, like, they did actually start moving a war fleet towards Cyprus. But then eventually they got their money out, and I guess they were okay with it, and they said, go ahead and steal all the money from Cyprus, and that's what they did. And well, that's the New World Order system. For those people who still think they live in, whatever country they live in, well, I'm here to let you know that this is the New World Order now, and if you are listening to this broadcast or any other liberty-minded, freedom-fighting, trying to awaken humanity broadcast on the internet, you as an individual are the resistance. It is now on your shoulders if you feel strongly about this information and really want to stop a global elite of wicked Satanists, really, of wicked Luciferian worshippers. If you really want to stop these people, you have to start getting active, and it starts with just being public. First, just start by talking to your friends and family. Just start small. That's how I started, just talking to friends and family. I did it for a long time before I was inspired to start going with a YouTube channel and realizing I can hit more people, because it gets frustrating sometimes dealing with people on an individual basis, because some people just aren't going to get it. Some people will never understand, and it's frustrating talking to them because they'll argue and they'll get mad, and you'll get frustrated and get angry, and then it just turns into something that is a waste of time. So start with your friends and family, and then branch out from there. Co-workers, people you meet on the street, cashiers at the grocery store. Make a YouTube channel. Start, if you know about one certain aspect, or documentation about one individual part of this system, make a documentary. You want to focus on GMO. Focus on GMO and make a short little documentary. All you got to do is get a microphone for your computer, get an audio recording software, and you can find free ones online. There's tons of free software out there. You just get it and just start recording your voice, talking about whatever, reading an article, throw up some pictures with the video, and put it online. Make a YouTube channel and just go with it. You are the resistance now. We all are. If you want to stop what's going on, you have to start making a stand somewhere. No matter what it be, you just got to do it. So all that being said, again, this was a special report talking about the bank holiday in Cyprus, which is a couple months old. It's old news. This is a news recap show. I'm going over old news and trying to tie it all together with understanding your personal liberties and the biggest threat to them, which is the globalists and their desire to create a new world order. I guess that's about it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and as always, I want to remind everybody to stay safe, to stay strong, to stay free, and to stay informed.